The British Empire, a civilization so vast its flag touched every ocean, every continent, every horizon. For centuries, people said a line that echoed across the world: the sun never sets on the British Empire. But empires don't last forever, and this is the story of the last emperor who watched the greatest empire in modern history fade into the past, a monarch who ruled during collapse, chaos, war, and the end of a global era. This is the story of the last emperor of the British Empire. For more than 300 years, the British crown stood at the center of the world. From India to Africa, from the Caribbean to the Middle East, the empire stretched across 1/4 of Earth's population. But by the early 20th century, cracks had begun to appear. Nationalism was rising, colonies were demanding freedom, and a storm was coming, a storm that would shake the empire to its very core. At this moment in history, the throne passed to a quiet, reluctant man. King George VI, father of Queen Elizabeth II. He did not choose power, power chose him. George VI was never meant to become emperor. He was shy, he stuttered, and he avoided public attention. But after the abdication crisis of 1936, the responsibility of ruling the world's largest empire fell on his shoulders. He became emperor not at a time of glory, but at the beginning of the fall. The world was marching toward a war that would decide the fate of all empires. World War II changed everything. The British Empire fought desperately to survive. But the cost was unbearable economically, politically, and morally. British cities were bombed. Millions of colonial soldiers fought under the Union Jack. Resources were drained, and debt skyrocketed. And across Asia and Africa, people asked one simple question: if Britain fights for freedom, why can't we? The empire's foundations were breaking apart. Then, in 1947, the impossible happened. The jewel of the empire, India, became independent. For Britain, it was a shock. For George VI, it was a painful symbol. Without India, the empire could no longer survive as it once had. One by one, nations followed: Pakistan, Burma, Sri Lanka, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. A wave of freedom swept across continents. The sun was finally setting. By the early 1950s, George VI was emperor in title, but not really in practice. The empire he inherited was disappearing. He watched as maps were redrawn, flags were lowered, and nations reclaimed their identity. He smoked heavily, struggled with his health, and carried the emotional weight of imperial collapse. In 1952, he died, the last emperor to rule over a true British Empire. After him, the monarchy changed forever. When Queen Elizabeth II took the throne, the age of empire was already over. She did not rule an empire. She presided over a commonwealth, a family of independent nations choosing cooperation over colonialism. The imperial crown became a symbol of history, not power. Elizabeth became the face of diplomacy, not domination. The world had changed, and the monarchy changed with it. And so, the last emperor of the British Empire did not fall in battle. He did not lose his crown. He lost his empire to time, to freedom, to history. Today, the world remembers George VI not for ruling millions, but for witnessing the final sunset of a global giant. Empires rise, empires fall, but the lessons remain. The British Empire shaped our world, its borders, languages, conflicts, and cultures. And the story of its last emperor reminds us that no power is permanent. Only change is. This is the legacy of the last emperor of the British Empire. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.